friend and she said, Rachel, you've drank the drinks, you've eaten the food, you've seen the sights. Now what you have to do is what the dating pool is like. And I was like, oh, really? I thought, at first I thought she was joking.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I'm being completely serious. This is a dating opportunity. I have this guy who I've met a couple of times before and he seems really nice and I might set you up on a blind date.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh yeah, I was like, okay, I usually will go for anything. So I decided I was going to go and do a blind date with this complete stranger. She did tell me a couple of things about him, that he was in London, but he was originally from Cambridge. And I don't know about you, Bernadette, but I'm a sucker for an accent.
I do love an accent, but I find when I see someone like with an accent, I tend to accidentally mimic that accent. Did you? Oh, that's good. So you would have started off on the right note.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was really looking forward to it. So they organised that we were going to have a meet-up at a pub in Notting Hill. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm excited. I haven't seen that part of London yet. So I got to the pub, waited around, had a drink. About 15 minutes go by and I was like, I wonder if this guy is just running late. So I send him a message, no reply. Half an hour goes past. Send him another message, nothing. So it turns out he stood me up.
Oh, no.
So that was like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed.
He would have kicked himself when he saw how gorgeous you are.
Thank you.
The one that got away you're going to be.
Exactly.
Wow. But did you go there on just a normal holiday and then you thought, oh, well, this could be the start of something amazing, could be something new. And then, like, somehow Notting Hill, the song came into it.
So I turned around and I was like, I'm not going to wait around for this guy, which is essentially what's in the lyrics. And I was like, I'm going to walk around. And I found myself in Portobello Markets. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the scene out of the movie Notting Hill, because it's one of my favourite rom-coms.
Yeah.
And I turned around and it just so happened. I hadn't actually looked it up. I found the Notting Hill bookshop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I felt like I was in a scene from a movie like Julia Roberts, except I hadn't ended up with the guy.
I saw that bookshop and it just, the whole film clip actually just looks amazing. Like it just is, it's like you're actually in the movie. Like you did such a wonderful job. So yeah, keep going. And actually, how did you pick the guy for the film clip?
Yeah, so when I went back to the UK last year, I so happened to have a friend who's actually from Perth. He'd moved, I think, to go do some acting. And I said, are you free on this day? And he was like, I actually am. And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. I'd actually worked with George, who was the actor, when I was a lot younger in productions and things like that. And I was like, the stars aligned. And Scott, who we both know, who's from Perth as well, he just so happened to be on a holiday in the UK as well at the same time.
I can't believe that. That is just crazy. So I saw Scott in your stories and I was like, wow, did they plan this? What are they up to? What's going on? But it was just a case of the stars aligning, was it?
It was like when the story came about, I was like, oh my gosh, this could turn into an awesome song. Yeah. And then the fact that when I went back, the two people that I kind of would have needed were there at the same time as me was just, how do these things happen? I'm not sure.
I think the universe is a really scary thing. And when you put things out there and when you ask for things or you let it know what you want and what you need, it just automatically just steers you in the right direction. And it just clearly did that for you. And I can just say this is one of those songs that I heard for the first time on your stories. And I was like, this is catchy. Like, I really like this. It's just so good. And I know it's going to do really well. Now, so you dropped the song right around the time of the 25th anniversary of the movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that was another thing that we hadn't planned. I hadn't really looked that up when we were like, oh, that's going to be the next song. We did some research and I was like, wait a minute, this is like 25 years. And then when we found that out, we said we have to release it we did it on the Australian release date, but 25 years to the day pretty much for when it came out, which just to me, another coincidence. It's all coincidences, this song.
You have got to be joking. That is absolutely unbelievable. And so you filmed the whole film clip in the UK, or did you do any parts in Perth?
All of it was done in the UK. We had 2 half days when we were there. So I did the first half day with Scott just by myself walking around Notting Hill, and then the second day we were lucky enough to get back into the Notting Hill bookshop an hour before they opened, and then that's when everybody else, all the tourists, started appearing after that.
And did they think like, oh my God, she's famous, she's an Aussie, you know?
They were like, what are these people doing? Like,
yeah.
they've got a camera and they're like doing shots over and over again. What's going on?
That is crazy. And so you're telling me it only took 2 days to film the film clip?
A couple hours. We did everything. I'd written all the time sheets and all the shot lists and things that I needed. So I knew what I needed to get, but it was rushed, but not as much time as I would have liked.
It does not look rushed at all. That's what happens when you work with professionals. That is amazing. I think you did a really good job. And when you did you write the song yourself?
Yeah, so when I was going on the tube ride home for when I was going to essentially go back to home, I thought, I'm going to I wrote in a journal entry every single day, and I thought, this is just the emotions that I feel, and this is what happened, and like, this is the guy, Harry from Cambridge, he stood me up, and I kind of forgot about it. And then when I started becoming a singer-songwriter, I went back to those notes and I thought, this could be a really cool song.
Gosh, I cannot believe it. Like that, it is a really cool song and I love it. Even when I put it up on the stories today, I was just like, this is so catchy. It's really like, it's amazing. So, and how would you say this song compares to your other tunes that you've sort of released?
So it's quite different, especially the way that I wrote it was a different way. The chords that I used, they're kind of very minor, and the lyrics were quite punchy. With my other songs, Complicated's kind of similar. Yeah. But Want Me To is the big ballad with all the strings and the orchestration. And I don't think I fit into a box very well. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
Coming from like a classical background, my very first singing teacher was an opera singer, and then I got into music theatre, and now I'm in contemporary pop. So I think that's very reflective of my journey and who I am as a person. So the lyrics and the way it was produced as well. I flew over to Sydney and worked with producers who were actually from Perth. They moved 3 years prior.
Yeah.
They lived 5 minutes away from me, honestly.
Oh my gosh. But you had to fly to Sydney to go and see them. Yeah.
Exactly. So I worked with them and I said, I want it to sound like this, and that's kind of where they took it from there. But I think every song is going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
Even the next couple that I've got coming out, they're going to be different again. So I think it's whatever the song needs, I'm going to give that kind of vibe or that kind of feeling into it.
That's a good way to look at it. Like each song is like you're a different child. It's like, it needs different things. And we were talking about this in social media as well. And it's like, it's really hard to find that one niche and stick to it. And a lot of us creatives are really... we're hard pressed to be just put in a box and stay there, So I really like the fact that you're like, well, now I'm in contemporary pop, but I could do opera or I could do this, I think that's great, keep us surprised. And that's really what creatives enjoy doing. And I will enjoy
Yeah.
listening to that too.
Thank you. I think it's the more versatile you are, the easier it is for audiences to be like, oh, I'm going to fit you into a box. And you're going to be if you do only breakup songs, you're Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Or if you do slow classical songs, then maybe you're more Adele. So it's very...
Britney Spears in pop. Yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy, isn't it? So then you're gonna enjoy basically like mixing up your genres, and So
so sorry.
no, please go ahead. Go for it. I can. Have your little coughing attack now. Go and get yourself a glass of water. I'll have a cup of tea.
Oh my gosh. I was like trying to hold it in. I was like, this is not going to work.
These things happen. I'll just chop that bit out.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm going to have a drink too.
Oh gosh. I was like, I was trying to blink it out and...
That's all right. It's just more entertaining for anyone who's watching on YouTube. And if anyone is watching on YouTube, this is my little setup here.
Never happened before. Holy moly.
That's okay. It's better it happens with me than it happens with some big major radio station.
Oh gosh. No, I'm like so...
Can you imagine? Well, we've got a thumbs up on the YouTube live. It's okay. Rachel's just going to have a coughing fit, everyone.
I'm just slowly dying inside.
Yeah, she's slowly dying. You're just going to get those vocals warmed up.
Oh my gosh, it was like a whole thing of dust went into my face. I don't know what.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay.
That is so me. That is so me. I'll be talking about Adele and then completely I'll crash inside.
The pressure, it all gets too much.
I just know I'll never be like Adele. I'll be like me. I'll be like, who else are you going to interview that's going to have a coffee?
That's right. But have you seen that meme? Like that I'm the, you're getting older or something when you're the only person that chokes on their own spit. Like that. I saw that the other day and I was like, that is so me. Like that is me.
Oh,
but you took it for me this time.
The funny thing is, having been in theatre, just to slightly sidetrack this, I have an identical twin sister. And we were both in the exact same costume and I looked at her and she was just off stage. And I knew I had a line coming up that I needed to speak and then sing into. And I was like, looking at her and I was like, oh, and she was like, what is going on? And I was like, I'm about to have a coughing fit and I can't do my next section. Can you swap off me? So I just inched off the stage. And she swapped in and did everything perfectly.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. Did anyone, I mean, I've seen your twin sister and I do think you look, a little different, but did anyone else notice?
I think so. There was enough stuff going on off stage that nobody hopefully would have noticed.
That is so funny. And they're exactly the kind of stories that we love to hear, those little quirky behind the scenes stories. That some crazy things happen when you're on stage and you've just got to pretend everything's okay,
Live theatre and then versus recording studio, very, very different.
I know, and you can't bring your twin sister everywhere with you.
I know.
So walk me through how you write a song. I'm sure many of us have got journals and we write things down. Could you possibly just write a song from a journal entry? How do you do it?
Absolutely. So I wrote it essentially from my journal entries or a massive emotion that I'm having.
Yeah.
So if someone's upset me, then I'm going to go just write it in some lyrics. And I was like,
so you are like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I think that's just the way that if someone had upset me or if, typically if you go through a breakup, you kind of write, I always write reflective of what happened or the events that happened or even thinking kind of, okay, had that happened, would I be more upset? I've written songs about other people, so
Yeah.
people in my life, so things that they've told me, and I say, oh, if I was to put myself in that position, what would I be feeling? And depending on if it's a happy song or if it's a sad song, I'll start with minor or major chords,
Yeah.
depending on the feeling that we want, and then I'll start with some chords usually just to give something to it. Try and work a couple out. A tune will come to my head, and then some lyrics might start flowing. So that's kind of the process. I always start with piano and chords and voice, and then sing after that. I've gotten somewhat of an idea of the structure of the song, and then I'll bring it to either a recording studio or some producers, and then we'll go from there to be like, I want strings in this section, and I think the drum needs to come in this at this point, and that's where we'll start to like work collaboratively on that kind of section of the song.
Wow. And have you ever started like putting music to a song and then going, this just doesn't fit, like it's not right for the emotion that I want in this particular song?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Complicated, my very first song, I brought it to a producer. I said, I kind of want it to sound like there's a specific song by Griff, who's actually now touring as with Taylor Swift. She's a UK artist. And I said, I want it to sound like this. And he went, I think it should sound more like Drake. And I was like,
wow. Oh, that's not what I had in my head.
Yeah. So then
just broken up there for a minute.
Ultimately, you need to somewhat be along the same wavelength of where you think that song is heading, but it is very much, I don't think that section needs that, pull it back a little bit, and then they'll take some instruments out if they need to. A little bit easier when you're producing, but live you kind of got to have an idea where you either build onto it. Taking it away is a little bit harder, but yeah, it's definitely, you got to have some idea going into the studio.
Yeah, exactly. And so what do you want people to feel when they listen to Notting Hill? What are you hoping, what sort of emotions do you want to?
Yeah, so essentially I just want them to feel as if, well, for me, I found that there was a silver lining even in being stood up. I want them to be like, you're in the point where you're a feminist and you don't need to wait around for the guy.
Yeah.
Being single for many years, and I think that's also a strong character trait that you need to have as a person. I'm very of the opinion that if you do get into a relationship, it's not someone who completes you, they add to you. So
Correct.
For me, as a full person, I think for Notting Hill is like, I'm not waiting around for you. Like, I should have known better, because most of the time it's the people that like, when someone tells you something, if you get stood up, believe them the first time.
Believe them. Absolutely. That's so true.
That's empowered.
Yes.
I think that's the main message that I want to be like, yeah, actually, nah, I don't need that guy to continue on. I can have love for myself, and when that does eventually come along, then it will be something that is added onto you, not completed.
I completely agree. And wouldn't it be cool if the producers of the actual movie noticed or saw your song?
Like, that would be awesome.
How amazing would that be? Have we done the appropriate tagging? Have we tried to get their attention?
We have tried. We have sent the writer of the movie, his personal assistant, an email. Haven't heard anything back yet. I've also tagged.
Done all the appropriate tagging.
Get essentially the new music across, I think, because it is a new kind of message. If Notting Hill was based today, this song is what it would be, I think.
Would be perfect for it. Or if they brought out a sequel, that would be perfect. Get some fresh, some fresh energy in there.
I would definitely be Julia Roberts.
Yeah, definitely. I know, we need to get you a really nice Hugh Grant. So as a fellow content creator, how do you juggle your music and all the other creative stuff that you do? Because we see each other out a lot at events and stuff like that and movies. So, yeah, it's how do you juggle everything all together?
I'm sure you can understand this, Bernadette. It's hard.
It's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I think for me, it's allocating time. So for things that I want to get achieved and I need to get filmed, then I'm putting that as a priority. And it is essentially just spacing it really well. So when we do go to events, if I've got an event and I can sing a song about it, then I'm going to pre-record it. So then that is something that I can put to the video. But I think it is very much being organized. Even as a creative person, I learned very well from my mum, who is very, very organized. She said, Rachel, you can be as creative as you want to be, but if you can't meet that deadline, then the creativity, as amazing as it can be, it's not going to come out. And I think that was the thing of also being creative. You're putting out work that, people might not like. They may love it or they may hate it, and you just don't know when you're putting like your own little vulnerable self out there what the feedback's going to be on that. So I also think if you're you and people like you for you, then there will be some kind of following towards it. So I think being organized and just having faith in yourself and what you're creating and be authentically you is so important, because someone said to me once, they're like, I want to be more like you. And I said, but there's already a me. So be more like you. As much as I think that's a massive compliment, and I was really happy to hear that. I think it is very much like be authentically you, and that will come across in all the content that we do. So the fact that you love wearing pink, Bernadette, and it's like that is a massive personality trait of you.
That's
and
right.
that you love beauty and always dressing up and looking nice. It's honestly that is something that, and you're so kind, and you've got that beautiful like humor in you. So that is very much. I don't need to be pushing on me, but
you're so kind.
You're so authentically you. Like,
that's right.
Nobody else can be you, Bernadette. So I think that's
right. Keeping that individuality, and I think also when you get up on stage, I think what you give out is what you get back as well. So if you're nervous and shy or you're not sure about yourself, then I think people be disinterested. If you go out there and you're confident and you believe in what you do because you know you've worked so hard on it, I think you get that confidence and that faith back from the audience as well,
Yeah.
So I think you're on the right track, girl.
Thank you.
And you've also you are, and you've had some wonderful opportunities as well, like even at some movie events. We've seen you sing, which has been great, and you did your song Notting Hill just recently at the opening. Tell us more about that, because I wasn't at this particular event, but I saw the stories and I was like, oh my goodness, that was sensational.
I was very lucky. I was asked by the Exhumed Theatre, so that's where the new Signet Theatre in Como is. They've got the new 35mm films coming out, and there was the opening night for the movie Two Hands, and I was approached by an RC agency, and they said, we'd love if you could sing the song from Two Hands, which is essentially These Days by Powderfinger, and to do my own version of it. And I thought, I'd love to do that. Do you mind if I do a set beforehand of my own songs, because the song is coming out the next day? And they're like, we'd love that. So I actually got a whole half an hour set of my own songs prior to the movie song as well, which was
good.
It was just amazing.
Such a treat for the audiences as well. And did you ever do any busking or anything while you were? Yeah, you did. You went on that journey.
So I've done a couple of the Subiaco kind of upmarkets.
Yeah.
So that was so much fun. I think keyboards are definitely something that you don't usually see busking.
Yeah.
But I think it was. I had people coming around, to the various shop owners around. They said, wow, you're actually quite special because there's not usually someone who plays keys and then sings at the same time, which
Yeah.
I've sang at street festivals. I've
So good.
sung with audiences of 2 people up to 2,000 at Crown. So it's a
Wow.
massive difference.
And tell me, what audiences are more difficult? Is it the 2-person audience?
Yeah, sometimes.
I think so too.
Yeah,
It's more confronting, isn't it?
You know, there's only 2 people who are looking straight directly at
I
you.
know.
Sometimes if you're in a pub and maybe people are eating, then the nerves are a little bit off. But also knowing that there's 2,000 people in one cinema or in one theatre, is quite daunting as well. But because you can't see them in a theatre, it's a little bit easier. But yeah, when it is intimate and you've only got a couple eyes on you and it's a small room, you kind of feel
you can
like
almost hear what they're thinking. Like, it's very nerve-wracking.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
Now, so we're getting to the end now. What are some artists that really inspire you?
I have mentioned Adele. I love her strong, powerful voice.
Yes.
There's a singer-songwriter turned artist, Julia Michaels, and I love her music because it feels like even though she's not writing about maybe something you're going through, you're like, this is so relatable. Or her lyrics are very truthful in a very specific kind of way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know she's the it girl of the moment, but Taylor Swift, I went and saw her in Melbourne. I think she's such a smart, not only lyricist, but she's a marketer. She knows exactly what to do, and I think the way she Easter eggs things is very smart. But there's so many amazing artists out there at the moment. Perth artists that are locally grown and they're just really thriving at the moment. And I'm so happy to see so many. You know, we think we're very small here in the music scene in Perth, but we do have quite a big range as well as a lot of talent here. So yeah, there's just I'd be here for hours if I was to name them all.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. And so after such a great song like this, what's next for you? And is the pressure on to create that next amazing tune?
Well, we do have another one that's going to be coming out very soon. It's called Everybody's Doing It. I wrote it and recorded it all in one day.
Wow.
So we did that over in Sydney when I was over recording Notting Hill. I had 3 days to kind of get everything done. So that was quite high pressure, but everybody's doing it. And then I'm getting back in the studio and I've got a vault of many, many other songs that are quite different to be recorded. So I'm really excited to get that music recorded and the music video shot as well.
That sounds really good. Okay, so last question. If you could team up with any artist, who would it be and why?
Oh, gosh. That's like the hardest question
I know.
ever. That's like pick your favourite child. I think, oh, gosh, there's like...
I know, you can only choose the one. And who's the
only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tricky one.
If I was going to be singing with someone, I don't think you can kind of go past like Frank Sinatra.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know. I like such a like maybe a weird choice or obvious choice, but I think just like having that beautiful jazz voice. I mean, and it's so well known. It's such a specific voice. So if I was to do something, I do something kind of like what Barbra Streisand would probably do, and do that kind of that beautiful soaring kind of a song, I think.
Yeah, like I don't know, you just cast my mind back to when like Lady Gaga did duet with Tony Bennett.
You know? And that's kind of what I was thinking.
And I was like, wow, you're good. I thought you were going to be like Adele because I could learn something off her, but no, you went straight for the top. Good on you.
There was a reason why they were so big in their time and still today. There's that special element. I think it's a lot harder for artists you go, I wonder if the the Taylor Swifts of the times, or Lady Gaga and Adele, if they're gonna stand the test of time. But so far, I think Frank Sinatra has. It has been quite a long time.
I think so. Yeah, it's been quite a while now. I think he's safe. Well,
I think so.
we really look forward to what you've got coming up next. And if you want to tell everyone like where to follow you on Instagram so we can keep up with your wonderful story.
You can follow me at Rachael Coltrona, so Rachael, and then Coltrona is Coltrona, or just type in Notting Hill Rachel. I'll come up on every single social media platform you can probably think of.
Yes.
I've got a website, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
YouTube.
Oh gosh, I'm on YouTube as well. Go check out the video. There is a little Easter egg in that video, if you look close enough.
Really?
But yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that is...
Especially
That's interesting.
A bit of a West Australian Easter egg, as well as possibly a little Notting Hill Easter egg in there, if you know it well enough.
You're going to be getting a new subscriber after this in me. I'm going to be searching you in YouTube now.
Well, thank you, Bernadette.
Thanks so much for being on The Buzz with Bernadette, and I hope everyone has enjoyed this chat with Rachael Coltrona, about her new hit song. It's going to be a hit, Notting Hill. So there you go. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely wonderful chatting with you.
So much, Bernadette.
Yay, thank you. We got through without any more hiccups.
Oh my God.
The pressure. The pressure's off now.
Oh my dear. Did you see like all the walls come back down?
Yeah.
Come back to.
And then 3/4 of the way through, I nearly did it, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna choke. You passed it on to me.
It's like hiccups or like something sneezing catches.
Yes.
It's like, oh gosh.
Well, I've always thought about that as well. Like, if you're ever on stage, why don't people sneeze when they're singing? I mean, I don't want to make you think about it, but like I've always thought about that. Like, or even if you're emceeing, like, why don't people go, oh, hang on, I'm gonna say, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy.
I think you would have to do it in character. I think you like.
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah.
Like, keep going. The show must go on. I remember there was this great Hugh Jackman thing where he was like, I've been drinking all this water, and I was either gonna sing the note or a pee, and he was like, it's theatre, so he sung the note.
That's right. You just gotta go with it, don't you?
I love theatre. Anything can happen.
I know. That's just crazy. Oh, thank you.
You're such a good interviewer, Bernadette.
Oh, am I? No, I'm getting better.
No, you are. It's
I'll get there.
I've done a couple of radio interviews now.
Yeah.
I did quite a few last year, and I've done